Hi, my name's Julia Battams. I'm the Program Executive Manager of Equine Pathways Australia. We're a charity with our office based in Harkaway, Victoria. We're running programs all around the country at the moment for athletes with disabilities and their riding pursuits. The programs that we have are designed for people with disabilities to engage or re-engage with the horse industry in a variety of areas. So we have a recreational sector, a vocational sector and a high performance sector. But basically the program is designed around 2-day clinics where the participants come, they spend 2 days with us once a month. The things that really draws me into the program and I'm so passionate about is the relationship that the horses have with our riders. So horses seem to have this amazing empathy. It's just this whole new level of communication that you don't really notice in another situation. We had a young lady who has had a traumatic brain injury and is really quite highly disabled now. All 4 limbs affected, speech affected. She's 9 years old. And her parents have been really searching for something to engage her. And they brought her up here last week. It's the first time I'd seen her. And this old gelding, she's in a wheelchair, and this old gelding spotted her from the paddock, and he came down and banged on the gate, and he insisted on coming out. So we brought him out, and he does a lot of gardening around the place, so he's generally on his own terms. And he walked down the corridor to this little girl, and he just put his face in her lap in the chair, and she cuddled him around his head, just gave him a hug, and he just stood there with her, hugging his head. And you could just see, her mum and dad, of course, are in tears. I'm in tears as usual. And Rocky just stood there, and he just allowed this child to relax and feel. It really is quite incredible to see.
So over my 15 years, I've had many horses, and each horse brings their own journey to your travels. They each have their own different relationship. Not every horse is the same, just like humans. You don't get along with all of them. But when you find that one special horse, or those multiple special horses that own that little bit of your heart, it can make the world turn around. I've been very fortunate enough to have multiple horses over the time that have each owned my own heart. And not all of them are here with me anymore, but without them, I wouldn't be here at the rider I am. And there's athletes that come here without their own horses, and they can build a relationship with their own horses here. And I think that's what's empowering, is enabling athletes to feel like the horses here understands them. And yeah, I think that's the important part. Sorry, I didn't want to cry, but here I am. And I think that just shows they really do become your friends, that you become one with the horse. And I think that's the best thing to say. And there's nothing like it. Yeah.
Julia Battams, who I call Queen Bee. She's the leader of our Equine Pathways program, and the person who created it is one of the most incredible, not only business women that I've met. She's also there are no words to describe her as a human being. She is the most knowledgeable, empathetic, wonderful, funny, divine soul who just would give up everything, the shirt on her back and everything else, so that people like us, or people that are involved with Equine Pathways, or just anyone in general, can do better in life or get ahead, or she can help us in any way. It's remarkable to think that a woman would literally fund this on her own back just to help people like us, and she's so involved with it. But she just understands. I had a riding lesson last week and here with another coach, and she came out and just was watching me ride, and something was going a little bit wrong, and it was a 5% problem. And she just came out and she said, hang on a minute. And then she comes running back with a yoga mat. And I'm thinking, what's she going to do with that? And she's got a pair of scissors and the yoga mat. And she cuts out a tiny bit of a square of the yoga mat and placed it under my right hip bone when I rode. And all of a sudden I was even. And I said, what made you think of that? And she said, your right knee is your problem. You've got pain in your right knee. So when you rise trot, you're avoiding your right knee pain. So you're going left by 5%, which is minute, but on a horse, that's really important. So the way she thinks just outside of the box, and she looks at a body with a disability and can see how to fix things, that's really rare. That's not something that comes along every day. So, I don't think we'd all be where we are without Julia. And she's very humble, and she doesn't like people telling her she's wonderful, but she really is just the most incredible human being.
For me and for a lot of our volunteers and the other participants, one of the most important parts of the program is really that community feel and that team support. And they come and they know that this is a safe space, and they'll be supported by each other, they'll be supported by the volunteers and the providers, but just that real community feel. And they're just like, there's friendships that are made here that I think will last a lifetime. And it's thanks to places like the Melbourne Racing Club Foundation that are able to support us and, see that we're worth supporting. And it's really nice to have that support from external organisations as well. So we really do appreciate it.
So basically Pathways has really helped me throughout my recovery of the car accident, because there was so many surgeries left, right, centre. And throughout all of that, Julia was taking me on my lessons and letting me ride, even though it was just in walk for the first bit. And it really also helped me recover mentally as well, because there was a lot of strain, becoming blind, and there's a lot of stress around that. But she has basically facilitated my journey to get to the point where it is now, where 2 weeks ago I had my first competition at the Para-Nationals at Borneo, and Jans and I came third place, which was it was amazing. And it was just a euphoric feeling doing that test, being, in the zone, not caring about what anybody else was thinking, just me and my horse, just that feeling of completing that test and knowing I had done well, and that Jans was with me the whole way. And we were both so proud of ourselves, because we'd come so far. It really is the best feeling, and Equine Pathways has helped me to realise this.
Having such a support of Julia, the providers that are here, the coaches that come in internally, and even the people, we're amongst athletes that have already competed internationally. It's this feeling of you can turn your dreams into goals no matter what they are. And, being an athlete myself and watching other athletes complete their dreams or achieve more than what they wanted to is such a special moment to watch. Watching young riders come in and then completely changing on how their goal and their mindset is. Having advice and help from the older people in this community, of wiser people who have been there, done that. I think that creates such a special feeling within this Equine Pathways program, and I think that is what makes this such a special, unique place to be.